Welcome back, guys. Thanks for joining me for another beer review. We are looking at a beer now that I've had since Christmas. Got it off the daughter for Christmas in a nice little gift pack with a glass, and we are looking at one from Innis Gunn. Now, I've been putting this on hold for a while because I've really got to be in the mood for this sort of beer, and I still don't even think I'm really in the mood for this sort of beer anyway. But I've decided, off the cuff review, I'm gonna do it, so sod it. So like I say, off the daughter for Christmas in a nice little gift set. There was 4 beers and a glass, and we are looking at a beer from Innis Gunn. Now, I believe this one has been out for a long time, and I'm certain I had it years and years and years and years and years ago. And we are looking at Innis Gunn, the original, and it is a single malt whiskey cask matured lager, I believe. It's in a 330ml bottle, and this is coming in at 6.6%. So we're looking at that in a clear bottle. Don't know if that's really going to make any difference, is it, with this sort of beer? Typical Innis Gunn, I can't get my words out. Typical Innis Gunn artwork. There is the Innis Gunn crown. I'm not sure if it goes like that or what. It's got to be like that, I'm thinking. And yes, as I said, gift box with a glass. And we've got a lovely Innis Gunn goblet there. So a big thank you to Courtney, my daughter, for that. Much appreciated. Now, I did do the lambic. There was a Krieg in there. And quite frankly, I wasn't impressed with the review, so I just deleted it. So a bit of a shame, really. But the beer was very nice, it's got to be said. Now, this has just come out the fridge. The fridge is set about 5 degrees. Probably not ideal. This probably needs to be warmer. But like I say, it's an off-the-cuff review. So let's get it cracked open and see what we get. I've got no idea how much this gift box would have cost. Pooh, yeah. There's a whiskey in the opener. Now, I'm not a whiskey fan. I'm really not, to be honest. To drink a beer with sort of like whiskey and all that like barrel aged stuff, there's got to be some bigger flavours around it to sort of hide some of that whiskey thing. It does smell a little bit skunky, if I'm honest. Yeah, and that's probably going to be down to the glass, clear glass bottle. But hey ho, it is what it is. So, beer in a glass. There we go. It's a nucleated glass by the looks of it, because look at the carbonation coming up there. I don't know if you can see it. Stream of carbonation. You might see like this hazy thing coming up, but I can see loads my side. It's sort of like a deep amber in colour. Lots of bubbles coming up, like I say, from the bottom of the glass. We've got a bit of a mix and match head. It looks really white on the screen. It's not looking that white my side, if I'm honest, but that could just be the light. Yeah, good finger and a half ahead. So let's dive in on the nose, see what we get. I've got some of it already anyway. It's got that typical sort of generic lager smell to it. That sort of skunkiness has worn off a little bit, but there is still a little bit in there for me. And I said as soon as I opened it, I got that sort of whiskey, woody sort of smell. Skunky thing. But for me, it's kind of there, but kind of gone. There is still that little sort of kind of skunky aroma. But it's maybe mixing with that woody, oaky smell. But in general, it smells like a sort of standard generic sort of lager. So, without further ado, let's dive in on Innis Gunn and the original single malt whiskey cask matured lager, 6.6%. Like I say, I don't know how much the gift pack cost. I'm thinking, because I think you can get this in a 660ml bottle in the supermarkets, probably at about £2.50-ish. £2.20, and probably part of a 4 for free. So without further ado, let's dive in, give it a taste. Innis Gunn, the original. Cheers. First impressions, I actually don't mind it. I don't mind it. I was expecting, you know, single malt whiskey cask matured. So it's just sat in this thing, in this cask, hasn't it? I was expecting sort of like a big sort of whiskey sort of thing going on in there. It is there, but it's not overpowering. But it gives it a nice flavour. Body, 6.6% lager, matured in a cask. So you wouldn't expect that to sort of affect the body. You wouldn't expect it to make it heavy or anything. But I've got to say, it does feel like it has a little bit of weight to it. Yeah, it's 6.6%, but it is a lager. And you don't sort of expect lagers to be heavy, but it's almost got the body of something kind of quite bready on the German side of things, and it has that sort of body to it. Very smooth, like I say, very bready in the body. A nice mouthfeel. Carbonation is there. The carbonation feels like it wants to be busy, and it is busy, but it's not. It feels like if this beer was thin, I think you'd really notice the carbonation. But I think because of the weight of this beer, it sort of just keeps it in check, and it gives it a lovely mouthfeel. It's quite smooth as well, it's got to be said. On the taste, very much, excuse me, like a little bit of a runny nose there. On the taste, very much of a bready, malty lager. German feel to it as well for me. It has a lovely sort of German feel to it, this lager. Even though it's sort of kind of generic, the more you drink it, you get a nice bigger breadiness to it. Pardon me. Malty, slight sweetness to it, maybe a little bit of caramel toffee going on in there. You do get a hint of that whiskey feel in there. It's a very subtle sort of taste, but it adds to it, and it actually works, and it's really nice, it's got to be said. A little bit of woodiness, a little bit of sort of like an earthy kind of feel to it as well. I'm very surprised because I've been putting this off. And like I say, I remember having it ages ago. And I probably had it ages ago when I was just into sort of like standard lager taste. And it probably kind of put me off a little bit. But this is really nice. Very smooth. It does have a drinkability about it, but there's the flavours in there aren't massively bold or massively overpowering, but they've got that sort of taste to them that makes this beer not one that you want to chug. The flavours in there are sort of ones that just halt you a little bit, I should say. I like it. I do like it. 6.6%. It's got the feel. You don't get the 6.6%, but you know it's bigger. It's a bit bolder. It's almost got a little bit of that feel of a Marzen-like beer, if you like, with the weight and the flavours. I've got to say, I quite like it. It's not one that I don't think it's one I'm going to go into supermarkets and say, oh, I'm going to pick up 4 of them. But it's possibly one that I'll go in the supermarkets one day and think, oh, I just fancy something different, and I'll see it and I'll pick it up. If it was at somebody's house, I would drink it. You know, I can imagine this would be a sort of beer that if you went round someone's house, it'd be one of them that would get left because everyone would be going, oh no, I don't fancy that. But if I went there, I'd happily drink it. You know, it's one of them. But I like it. I do like it. It's nice for a little bit of a change. And like I say, I'm not sure how much this bottle was in the pack and what have you, but I'm certain you can pick big 660ml bottles up for about £2.50, something like that, probably on 4 for free. So, pardon me again. Innis Gunn, the original, single malt whiskey cask matured. I like it. I like it. I think that's well worth picking up. If you're a standard lager drinker, and you just like lager with nothing extra to it, this might not be your thing. But if you're willing to try stuff and you like something a little bit different, I think that's worth a go. And like I say, £2.50 odd for a 660, it's got to be worth a try. So yeah, a thumbs up for me for Innis Gunn, the original. If you've had it before, let me know what you think. Feel free to comment. Thank you all for watching. If you're thinking of giving it a go, like I say, depending on your taste in lager, if you're a Carling Budweiser kind of drinker, it might not be for you. But if you like different stuff and you like trying heavier stuff, certainly if you like German stuff as well, because I think there's a lovely German feel about this, give it a go. That's it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you again soon on another one. Cheers.